can't believe I'm doing this again. Can't find a position, sitting position. Yeah, so it's been a minute, guys. It's been a whole minute that I haven't done a video. Last week I was on my off week, and it seems like when I'm off, I'm just so tired. Like, literally, like my soul is drained. And then stuff just happened last week, and especially towards the end of the week. And also, I'd given my kids nanny off time, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I was just busy with babies, so I was super busy. And then now I haven't done my day 7 video, and I promise you guys like a mini story time. So guys, I don't know, like people always say this when they're doing story times about traumatic experiences, but this might be a trigger, and so this is a trigger warning. And I'm not gonna go into like major details about what happened for me to become an unemployed graduate, but I do want to be more specific about the feelings that I had after I became an uneducated there I go again with this uneducated graduate, an unemployed graduate. So guys, the things and doesn't leading up to, so I'm just gonna try and keep it short. And the reason why I'm not going into details, maybe at a later point I might do like a real long story time, but also I want to sit down and talk to my son about everything that happened between me and his father. So I don't want him, like some spiteful person, to like show him the video on YouTube and be like, you know, this is what happened to your mom or whatever. And also I also don't want to paint anyone as a villain or someone who was, you know, a bad person. I think everything just happened and everything got out of hand, and I feel like it's just like a learning opportunity for everyone. So I don't honestly feel like this is a way of me painting anyone badly. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep it very short and sweet, and then just focus on how I felt afterwards and how I actually eventually not got over, but worked through like my challenges at that time. So basically in 2015 I met the father of my firstborn son and fell in love. Everything was lit. Within a month I was like pregnant. Within a month, 2 months, was like very quick. And then after that things just started going downhill. I found out the guy was on drugs, and just like he started selling my things, and just like everything escalated very quickly. Like, yo, so much drama went on. There was suicide attempts, having to send him to the hospital, him coming back being crippled, not knowing whether he was gonna be permanently that way, and just like a lot happened. And then 2016 I gave birth to my son in March, but like a few days before that I'd written my board exam, and so I knew that while I was on maternity I was gonna get my results for my board exam. So I got my I went on maternity, and then I got my results in May when I was about to come back from my maternity, and I had passed. So they decided they were going to place me in East London. Keep in mind I was living in Port Elizabeth at the time, so I had to actually move and change cities. So I did change cities. I went and I stayed in East London. I tried like maybe for like a couple of weeks or a month to not communicate with him and try to cut him off, because now I was starting a new life, and I really wanted to make sure that my life was, you know, all together, so that my son wouldn't suffer, and I would also be able to take him, and he can come and stay with me, and then I can find him a crash or something. And you know, I wanted to really build my life so that I can be part of my child's life like 100%. So I tried staying away from him, but you know, things happened. We started communicating again, and eventually he came to East London and he came to see me. And yo, I ras up, you. I wish I could open that door and just be like, give him the stare. Oh my goodness, guys, like, I'm sorry to like deviate, but like they are starting to stand now using the couch because we don't have like a table or anything, but like they holding onto the couch and holding onto me and starting to use me like for standing. So soon we'll be walking. Anyways, yeah, so East London it was, guys. Went to East London, started my life. It was late, yes, yeah. I mean, I was just going to work and coming back. That was basically my life. It's still my life basically now, and it's something that I want to change. But yeah, that was my life. I was just me. I was just this boring self of mine that I am. And he came and things just started spinning out of control. It got more like physically violent between us, and I'm not innocent in all of this. Like, when the physical violence started, I was there. You know, like, I was there too. I was fully present in the physical abuse. It wasn't just him hitting me, it was me hitting him. I'm sorry for laughing, like, it's a serious matter, because a lot of people, you know, you'll play victim, like, ha ha ha, like you didn't do anything bad in the relationship. But like I'm saying, like, this is actually a reality. Sometimes as women, like, we eventually get so fed up that we also become these people that we don't even recognize of ourselves. So I became super violent, and I realized that this relationship is just toxic. It's getting so bad that I actually felt like I can kill this person. Like, I was having homicidal thoughts. I was just like, my life is miserable with this person in it, and the only way that I can get out now, because like I've tried changing cities, I've tried disappearing for little short periods and then coming back and going home, and this person will literally follow me to Durban. Like, they would follow me to Durban and call me when they're there, or have somebody call me when they're there and be like, this person is about to get attacked, or this person is, you know, gonna be physically harmed. Because it was this one time he took a taxi without any money, and he was able to get from East London to Durban without having paid money on the taxi. And you know them Zulus, that drivers do not play, like taxi drivers do not play. When he got there, it was like they were about to kill him, like they were gonna hit him, because now he'd literally wasted an entire trip's money and not paid. So yeah, and I would feel bad for him, and I'd go and I'd fetch him, and then we'd go back to East London and things like that. Like, things like that kept on like occurring. Like, there's just a lot. And like towards the end, it got like super physically violent. And I'm gonna tell you, like, the days, basically like the days before leading up to the day when I actually left East London. So basically, what had happened was, this guy, he was just like, the drugs had really gotten out of hand at this point, and he was just disappearing and coming back. Like, he'd leave for 7 days and stuff. And then this one time I'd come back from work and there was no one at home. I was like, oh, that's chill, like, as long as no one is at home, I'm cool. And then he arrived when I was at home, and he started wanting to like take some stuff and like sell them, which is a thing that he kept on doing. Like I said, I'll tell you the full story at a later point, but now I'm just wanna get to the gist of it. So he tried to pack my stuff, and I was like, no, don't sell this, you can't sell this. Like, he can take some of the stuff like he'd bought me. And he took my sneakers, jeans, I think, and like a top that he'd bought me. And then he was like going to sell them. And then he tried to take my TV, and like, my TV was like my pride and joy. It was precious to me because I just bought it, and I, you know, like, that was the most I'd spent at that point on anything that I had in my house. Like, not my bed, not my nothing. Like, that was the most expensive. Other than rent, there was nothing I was paying that much for. So I was like, no, you cannot take my TV. My TV is a no-go area. So you can take anything else, but just not my TV. And the guy left with the stuff that he had without my TV. And so I literally put my clothes and my stuff, like, just put my stuff in like I think I put it in a plastic bag, if I'm not mistaken. It's like I didn't even have time to like literally pack. I literally threw everything, all my clothes and stuff, into a plastic bag. And I took my TV and I packed it into my car, and I called my manager at that point, and I was like, yo, listen, I can't stay here. Like, this person has gone from 0 to 100 at this point, and I don't know whether he's gonna leave and come back, and literally, like, it's a mess. If I don't leave right now, I'm probably gonna die. Like, I was afraid for my life because he was just acting way more erratic than what he was usually, like he would steal stuff, but it was never when it would just be stuff that disappeared. It was never like us having to fight for him to go and sell these things. And I could see the desperation in his eyes, and what, like, he really wanted these things, he really needed them. And at some point, I think during our conversation, he had hinted that he wanted to sell off some stuff because he wanted to get a gun. And that was what really scared the shit out of me. Like, I was super scared. And I left. Like, I literally drove. I think it was like around 9 o'clock when I left East London, and I was driving to Durban, and I locked my house, I locked my apartment, and I was gone. Literally like minutes after he had left. So I left and I stayed at home for a week, and I was supposed to come back on or to start my shift on Monday night. I was doing like three night shifts in a row, and then having 2 days off, and then working again. So I drove, and I went home, and I was like, I need some space, I need some time, I need to think. So I then took that time off, and I came back, guys. I was coming back. It was like March, and it was coming towards my son's birthday. My son's birthday is on the 21st of March, which is today, and I'm saying happy birthday. And that is why I actually wanted to release my intro video today. It was because I'm celebrating his birthday. I'm still gonna release that intro video, guys. Like, it is still coming, but I've decided to release both the videos on the same day. I'm letting go of the old and bringing in the new. I'm bringing in the new, guys. And like, so I left ngahamba again, and then I was saying, boy, guys, boy, I'm gonna celebrate my child's birthday. So I decided I'm gonna bring my mom and my kid back with me to East London. Thinking must mean I have the key. I have the only key to my house. There ain't nobody who can, uzokwazi ukuvula angeke ngimfice endlini. I'm gonna tell my mom to keep the doors and everything locked so that he can't come in and all of that. Like, half thought. And then we drive. Like, I drove through the night because that Sunday, we left on a Sunday. I'd actually woken up and gone to church with my mom, and then only puma later. So it finished at 2 o'clock, and then we started driving from Durban to East London, and we drove, and I got there like early mornings, extending us during the day, and then in night shift. Fine. When I got into my place, opened the door, I'm like, what is this? What had happened here? My place was legit empty. like, I'm like, what had happened? What? And I mean, immediately in my mind, I never thought someone had broken in, or like, I never thought of a break-in. I just knew immediately as soon as I walked in. I was like, this guy has now taken my stuff and has done sold it. Yeah, my house was empty. He had left us, I think, my sofa and the stove and like pots, obviously. He had sold my fridge, everything, like all the small items that he could. Obviously, he didn't get a hold on my TV because I love the girl had packed it and gone with it. Anyways, like, I know it sounds stupid right now, but my TV was safe. My bed was gone, guys. My pillows, like, I had these, those fluffy, very soft pillows that you buy for 500 per pillow. I had those pillows. He had sold those pillows. And guys, let me give you a visual of my room basically looked like this, but just like bigger with like a bit more wardrobe space. And then my bedding. I had white bedding. You see this thing that I have on my window, using it as a curtain. That is not a curtain, that is like a duvet. That's the actual duvet, the white duvet that I actually had on my bed. And I found it laid on the floor where my bed used to be, literally. And the pillowcases were also laid there, as if, as if a bed was there. Like there was no bed, but my bedding was there, as if the bed is there with the pillowcase, like ukundlaliwe pants, guys. Like, and it was at the foot of the bed. There was a gun in the corner, so I just literally, I panicked the moment I saw that. I was just like, yo, I'm gonna die. This guy did mention that he was gonna buy a gun, and I'm gonna die. Like, this is it, I'm gonna die. If I stay here, I'm gonna die. And honestly speaking, now that, like, in retrospect, I think I would have stayed had I not brought my mom and my child with me. And like, at this moment, I probably wouldn't be alive, because things were just so toxic at that moment, where it just like, yeah, that I would have probably not been alive at this point. Like, because our relationship had gotten to that point where it was either he killed me, I killed him, or I don't know what happened, but like, there was gonna be a death. There was gonna be a death. Anyway, so the gun was there, and I just flipped out. So I told my mom, take the child, put him in the car, we are leaving now, because if he rocks up now, I don't know what's gonna happen. So we ended up driving the entire night, guys, trying to find a place to check into. Like, now I need a place to sleep, because I need time, I need space to think, I need to go to work. What am I gonna do? My mom was like, you can't stay here. She knows where you work. If your HR people can't get you a transfer or anything, you have to leave your job. Like, you can't stay here. And if my mom wasn't there, I would have stayed. So I found, eventually, like at 3 in the morning, I found a hotel that allowed us to check in even at that point, and I couldn't sleep. 8 o'clock came, and I called my manager. I was like, this is what happened. I came back, but now I'm in East London, and I found a gun in my place, and I don't know what's happening. So, guys, basically, to wrap the story up, what happened was I ended up packing all my stuff and leaving East London. I don't want to go into details, because the funny story, I'm gonna really do a story time probably at a later point. But yeah, I ended up leaving. We're at 17 minutes now, and I need to like wrap this up. So ended up packing all my stuff and leaving. Luckily, my brother was close by, so I called him and my sister-in-law, and they came, and they had like a big, what do you call those cars, Orlando. So it had like boot space, and packed everything, and we left, guys. So when we left, my mind was like literally fragmented. Like, I wasn't thinking. My brain had stopped working. The whole trip was a blur to me, because I was in the car going, but it felt like my soul was still left behind. I loved my job. I enjoyed my job. I loved what I was doing. I loved the money that I was getting. I loved the responsibilities of knowing I have my own place. I'm taking care of my child. I'm paying my black tax. My black tax is up to date. You know what I mean? Like, everything was the way that I had imagined it, except for my relationship. And I was where I thought I would be in my life at that point. Like, I was already like a bit behind from my peers, but I felt like, okay, now, I'm really, isn't as I'm and I have a good job, it's paying me very well. It looks like the company that I'm working for is really starting to appreciate the workers and starting to pay them, what they're entitled to. And now we can actually make a living, and we can also take care of ourselves and our kids and all of that stuff. So I was really enjoying my time, and really enjoying my job, and really enjoying the money. So now I'm leaving all of this behind, and like, it's like yesterday I had a job, today, it's not even a yesterday type of thing. Like an hour, like a few minutes ago, I had a job, and today, like now, an hour later, I'm jobless. Like, I don't have a job. So it wasn't an adjustment. It wasn't like a resignation. It wasn't like a resignation, like where you have time to adjust them, or being fired. I don't know. Like, it just was so quick and everything happened so fast. And I felt like my life was, I'm catching up to my life, but also I'm leaving pieces of me behind, and it hurt. It was such a shock to my system. It hurt. I had to think of what I'm gonna do now. Like, I have this small child. At that point, I think my son was like, he was 11 months. It was gonna be a year, because it was March, and March of 2017. So I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. How am I gonna survive? This person needs diapers. This person has, I had to deal with that. Ukuthi angisakwazi ukunakekela ingane yami, angisakwazi ukuyithengela lezi zinto lezi engiyifunayo. And then also the pressures, like, I don't know, like a lot of families, black families are like this, but usually in a household, it's blended. Like, you'll have the different, like, you'll be living with your brother and his family, and your parents, and then it's you and your kids. So it always feels like you have to basically keep up. If my brother is buying his kids stuff, obviously I'm not going to expect him to buy that thing for umdanam, but at the same time, I know I don't have money to buy my child that. So how am I going to be able to afford maintaining that lifestyle so that my child doesn't feel like an outsider? I'm sure, like, in black families there's that pressure also. So not only was now I dealing with the PTSD of losing my job, literally I had PTSD. I would wake up from nightmares of losing my job. I'd wake up from nightmares of this person physically abusing me. I'd wake up in a nightmare of him pinning me down and sexually assaulting me and things like that. Like, I would wake up in a sweat all the time. Like, almost every single day I'd have a nightmare. But now I'm here also maneuvering the relationship. It's at home, the relationships at home, where I'm feeling pressure within myself. With my brother is doing a birthday party for his daughter, and Mina, my child's birthday is in 2 days, and I don't have the money to fork out to even buy a cake. And now I have to, because like, who is expected to do that? So living in a household with these different family units in it was a lot of pressure, and still even now is a lot of pressure, because sometimes I can't keep up with my family members, and it puts a lot of pressure on me, because I'm still catching up to my life, and they have already made it. I mean, my siblings are super successful, and I'm that odd black sheep who is still trying to find her feet at 30, almost 31 years old. And there was also a pressure. And then also just hearing certain comments coming from my parents. I'm not like trying to paint my parents as bad, but there were certain things that were said or that were relayed to me that made me feel like, oh, now I'm gonna be a burden. Hearing my father asking, so now what's gonna happen? Who's gonna take care of this child? Like, when he says child, he means my son, because now I'm not working, so now he has to carry me and my child, and just like little comments like that. And then, like, also I know there was a comment like where he said something like that, and my mom had to be like, no, but she's been paying her black tax, like, she's been giving you money, so you shouldn't be so bitter to take care of her, because when she had something, she gave. So had I not been giving them black tax, then it would have been a thing of, oh, righty, and then now you are down in the dumps, and now we have to take care of you. So I know they didn't mean it in a bad way, but it's just like little comments like that where they really got to me. Like, I was mentally effed up, I don't want to lie. Some points it got so bad that I was homicidal, and I could hear people speak. Like, the people would ask my mom, how uncle sebuyile, yeah, uncle sebuyile, and then I'd hear little whispers like hush hush, like people talking basically I'm guessing she would be telling them my story, and then by the time I got there it would just be looks of pity, like, oh shame, askis mara, oh girl, so being unemployed just made me a pity party. Like everyone was now looking down on me, and my sister, like, she's the most supportive and everything, but like just knowing that now she feels bad, she has to like ask me every month, am I coping, am I doing okay? And I tried my hardest not to ask for money from her, and just used whatever I had saved up or left over and things like that to just survive. But just even the support that you're getting from people makes you feel like a burden, and I totally understand how people who are unemployed currently are feeling. I know that my situation is different because I had worked and then I'd left my job, so that might be different, but I know the feeling. I know what it feels like to feel like a burden. I know what it feels like to just see people and think that they are looking at you, pitying you. Shame, man. Like, akasana lutho, usewile, or ayi vele. Like, basically it just makes you feel bad. Like I said, I got to a point where bese ngifuna ukuzibulala, and every time I would look at my child and I'd be like, I have to kill myself and I have to kill you. Like, this was a thing. Like, this is how I spoke to myself. Fanele ngizibulale bese ngibulala. Like, fanele ngibulale when, and then I must kill myself. And like every time I looked into his eyes, that was the only saving grace that I had, is he doesn't know anything. He doesn't deserve for me to do such a thing to him. So that was the only reason that kept me from doing that. But after a while, when I eventually got myself up and I started applying for jobs. See, my problem was I had specialized in something. Like, I had specialized in microbiology, and so it's a specialized field, so you can't really work anywhere. You have to get a lab that deals with microbiology because you can't work in the other disciplines. So it was difficult, and it was super difficult because now I couldn't go back to the same company that I was with, so I have to look at the other more private companies, and then it was difficult to get in for me. I didn't have a lot of experience. I had like 1 year of experience and then the internship, and so they weren't even really considering my application, and when they did consider it, I was really just like I was given an opportunity to interview, but then after that it was just like, no girl, we can't. I think also because I was earning a lot more than what they still, even today, at the place that I'm even working now, compared to how much I was earning then, it wasn't matching up. So me wanting basically to start off on that salary was like a no for them. Like, it's not gonna happen. We're not gonna pay you that much money and you only have 1 year experience. So that really blocked me off a lot, and I couldn't find a job, guys, especially with the specialized like microbiology qualification. And then I was just like, I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. I can't kill my child, therefore I can't kill myself, but I don't want to be here anymore. So I started taking a lot of prescription, like, not prescription drugs, but like I did a lot of painkillers. I started taking a lot of painkillers. At some point I actually thought of, let me just join this guy who was on drugs, and I mean, just snort up or shoot up or whatever, just so this pain and this feeling of just being so lost can just go away. Like, I didn't want to feel down anymore. Numbers and katede, like, couldn't take the pressures and everything. But then I started basically taking painkillers every day. They helped me sleep, they calmed me down. Started gaining a lot of weight. I ate a lot. I just ate and slept and drank painkillers and slept, and basically that's what I did. And I actually remember this one time, guys, I'm not crying. I actually remember this time in October. I went to my sister's place. So I went to stay with my sister for a few months towards the end of the year. And this was the changing point in my life, because I got there and that first day when I just got there, I hadn't taken any painkillers or anything, and I was like, now I really need to take something, and I went to a box and I told her I had a headache, and I told her I was feeling like I'm getting a flu and stuff. And so she was like, no, I have like a medicine little box thing where I put all my medication. And I went there and I remember just grabbing stuff. I don't know how they were gonna react to one, and I just took a couple of pills and I just drank them and I drank them and I drank them. And I remember feeling so awful after that. Like, my skin was itching, my pee was yellow, my eyes were bloodshot and yellow. I actually realized now that I actually had liver damage from all the medication that I'd taken, and also like how they basically reacted. So in a way, I was just mildly overdosing on the painkillers. So my skin was really itchy. I was just in pain, like my body was in horrendous pain. And I think had I taken just a little bit more, I probably would have probably died. But anyways, I started drinking a lot of water after that, because I realized that my body is really shutting down at this point. Like, I've really effed up and I don't think I want to die. And when I started getting better, I realized, okay, there's some internship posts, guys. I can start over. Like, this is not over, I can start over. So I applied for some internship jobs at the company that I work for now, and I went for interviews, and then afterwards they just went quiet. So I kept on calling the training department, guys, do you have any feedback? I kept on calling every single time, and I'm not the type of person who likes to be on the phone. So you can imagine, I was calling all the time. Like, I told myself every Thursday until they literally give me an answer, I am going to call. So I called and I called and I called, and eventually they came back to me and they were like, yeah, we have an internship, but it's not like the clean path internship, the one that I wanted, that incorporated different disciplines. It was also a specialized one. And I was like, I'll take it, but if there's anybody else anyway, like, I don't care, I'll go to Cape Town even. And that person doesn't want that internship, I will take it. And luckily they called me like 2 minutes later and they're like, oh, somebody doesn't want the Cape Town one, do you want it? I'm like, yeah, sure, girl, I'll take it. I don't care. I mean, I've relocated so many times in my life, I don't mind, I'll do it. So she gave me the internship. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And you know who you are. If ever you get to watch this video ever, I absolutely appreciate you giving me that opportunity. Then I went, guys, and I put in my efforts. I didn't know that I could actually pass my test with 100% and 99% and what. Like, I had no faith in myself, but that internship, that new start, gave me the opportunity to prove to myself that I still have an opportunity to live. Like, I lived, I got my life back, I worked myself back to where I am currently, and I'm super proud of myself. So guys, I'm gonna cut this video right here because it's already gone on for too long. But basically the day 7 video is just to tell you guys that it is not over. Even when you think it's over, it's not over. You can still do it, and all your traumas, leave them here and decide that you're going to start afresh, you're gonna start anew. And yeah, so my next video is going to be my intro video. I don't know if I can get it out by today, but I'm definitely going to try. And if not, I just want to say happy birthday, happy 6th birthday to my beautiful baby boy, and I love you so much. And one day when you watch these videos, I hope you are super proud of your mom. And yeah, guys, like, absolutely appreciate those of you who have been pushing me for this week where I have been just super lazy and not wanting to do anything. That you have been encouraging for me and telling me that I need to push and do this. I wasn't giving up, I was just in a bad slump, and also the weight of telling the story was weighing really hard on me. and I don't want people to look at me and pity me. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for keeping me motivated and keeping me going. I hope you enjoy. Hopefully we will be doing a story time on the story, and maybe having like a glass of wine and sipping and spilling proper deets about what happened one day. And I hope you enjoy. I love you guys.